Exiting the dressing room, the two cute magical girls, accompanied by their personal bodyguard, a massive, imposing figure, headed toward the stage. There were only moments left before their performance, and preparations were almost complete. However, one of those magical girls was Tanya. How did I get myself involved in this? She sighed, recalling recent events. She knew she had signed up for this, but she never expected it to come to this. Still, the contractual obligations had to be met. That was the foundation of business. Even in this absurd situation, she was forced to follow the letter of the agreement. Tanya had grown somewhat accustomed to such things since starting her idol career, but she had always avoided crossing a certain line. Today, it seemed that line had vanished. Her gaze fell once again on the parameters of her new combat gear. This was perhaps the only consolation preventing her descent into complete despair. The equipment provided by Levi Chan was truly worthwhile, especially since she would soon be dealing with demons. It offered a host of resistances and even a passive magical barrier that absorbed attacks of any type. Levi Chan explained it had both self-recharge and manual recharge functions, but Tanya's current reserve was insufficient to fully charge it. After a demonstration, Levi Chan had kindly charged it for her, defrosting Yoshio in the process. It was insane. Tanya never ceased to be amazed by Levi Chan's strength, yet she knew she was only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Even so, Levi Chan was still no match for Being X. That entity was a biblical cheat, but her power commanded respect. Tanya was conflicted. Should she be glad to have the support of such a high-level being in this absurd world, or despair that there were others like her? However, if Tanya could secure support from others of Levi Chan's level, her chances against Being X would significantly increase. But I absolutely cannot let my guard down around someone like her. The thought flashed as Tanya's eyes fell back on her new battle attire. Levi Chan, with her shining smile and cute bouncing pigtails, was strutting next to her in her light pink combat uniform. Despite her eccentricities, she was an excellent business partner who always honored the contract and even included bonuses. Tanya frowned as she thought about the sheer madness she was about to undertake. It wasn't just the magical girl performance. Soon, she planned to execute something far wilder, a truly insane plan that required her to undertake some very unpleasant actions. But this was the optimal path. She had to remind herself that all the madness to come was part of the plan. She couldn't back down. She had to see it through to the end. As Levi Chan had predicted, the demons had finally started acting, which was expected. However, another unexpected factor had emerged. The presumed lackeys of Being X, the church, had also appeared on the horizon. This complicated matters, but not too much. No matter how many of them there were or where they came from, the mousetrap was already sprung. Tanya's plan was to lure her hunters, both demons and church members, right here to the concert. The location was ideal because the large crowd made her nearly impossible to detect through direct magical energy tracking. Tanya had planted a multitude of magical decoys around the perimeter, all emitting her energy. With the massive audience, they wouldn't find her easily. The first move would be Tanya's. Luring them was easy. Thanks to Levi Chan, Tanya knew when and who would arrive. Since her holy aura was leaking due to the camouflage breach, they could easily track her. However, her plan involved Yoshi, Issei's brother / Tanya's follower. Yoshi's mechanism could temporarily absorb her aura, completely concealing it. By constantly moving with Yoshi, they had been leading the tail on a chase all morning. To the pursuers, it looked like they were being led into a trap, but Tanya correctly assumed the arrogant demon lordling, Diodora, wouldn't care. Tanya was ready to give both the demons and the church members a very warm welcome. As she mused, a familiar itch ran through her body. Tanya frowned. It was the distinct pervert's aura she'd sensed so often. She quickly determined the direction, to her left at 7 o'clock. She glanced over her shoulder and her eyes nearly popped out. Her most reliable shield, the one she trusted to cover her back, was actually the 2-meter colossus Yoshi, with a flushed face, was subtly glancing at her legs and hips before quickly looking away. But his eyes inevitably returned to their shameful fixation. Could he be? Tanya stopped and turned around. Yoshi sensed it and froze instantly, pretending to be a statue. Tanya approached him, craning her neck to meet his gaze. He tried desperately to look away, his head nearly twisted 180 degrees. "Yoshi," Tanya hissed, "what is the meaning of this?" He stammered without turning his head. It's nothing, Anisan." "What do you mean, nothing? Don't you dare follow the example of your comrades in arms." She yanked him down to her eye level and stared directly into his eyes. "But, Anisan," he mumbled, his face red as a boiled beetroot. "What, Anisan? What do you have to say in your defense?" It's just that you look very cute in this outfit, Anisan." The hammer blow of reality shattered Tanya's worldview. The very last person she expected to betray her trust, her most reliable human resource, had done so. Her body instinctively recoiled, a shiver passing through her. She felt like she might lose her mind. Yoshi, he was always normal. What is happening? The more intruder-like a voice, a mischievous giggle came from behind. "See, Ta-chan, even your people have a sense of beauty. You won't regret it, Ta-chan. Soon you'll know the full splendor of magical girls. Livy-chan guarantees it." Those words surprisingly brought Tanya back to clarity. She had to act now. "Yoshi!" She flew at him. A kick, amplified by magical energy, landed on his thigh. I do not want to hear such things ever again." She punctuated each kick with a menacing tone, striking his vulnerable spots. Her magically enhanced kick was 3 to 4 times stronger than a normal adult and could crack concrete, but for Yoshi, it was just uncomfortable. But if she knew where to apply force. Ow! A blow landed on his liver. "Ani-san!" A hook to the stomach. "Please, stop. I understand. Ani-san." Tanya finally recovered from her sudden burst of rage. "No, I can tolerate a lot, but this, how much more can I take?" She was losing her composure, her principles collapsing one by one. Emotions were creeping into her actions, which was terrible, but some things were just too hard to fight. "Do you understand?" Her incinerating gaze swept over him. "Yes, I understand, Ani-san." She looked at him with puppy eyes, though a defiant smirk was still playing on his lips. "What is this condition? Is it incurable?" "Ah!" A sudden shriek came from behind. It wasn't Levi-chan, who was still giggling into her hand. Tanya turned around. Staring at her with a pale face and bulging eyes was her brother, Issei. Tanya instantly regained her focus and a smile stretched across her face. Coo. Finally, everything is going according to plan. Asia had come through, doing exactly what Tanya expected. Right, who else would she invite to the concert but her brother? All the actors were finally assembled. Her brother's face was like a sheet, and his eyes were popping out. "Brother, what are you doing here, Tanya?" approached him with her professional smile. Did you decide to watch your little sister's show? You haven't changed, brother. Still a shameless pervert, she cooed innocently. Cold sweat poured from him, and on shaking legs, he backed away around the corner. Hello, Tanya. I was just passing by. I won't bother you." He was halfway around the corner, but Tanya wasn't about to let him escape. She darted towards him when a new voice rang out. Ishe-kyun, why did you run away from Milton? I've been looking all over for you. Ah, there you are. Out from around the corner flew something. Tanya froze. Her body seemed to atrophy. Her brain, momentarily shocked by the vision it perceived, forgot how to send signals. Tanya had been through a lot. Corporate life, the horrors of war, the strange family situations caused by her brother, and her current life as a magical girl idol. She thought she had reached the ceiling of perversity, but now she knew she was wrong. Ne-san, Ane-san, are you all right? Someone shook Tanya by the shoulders. Tanya saw it. Crack, crack. She heard the sound of breaking glass, the sound of her most beloved possession, sanity. She had lost something very important. Had the laws of the universe Sama finally died? Hane-san, wake up! A slap landed on her face as her knees buckled. In that moment, Tanya became utterly convinced of the truth of her path. If this existed in a world created by one well-known entity, being X has no right to live. Yoshi, however, got a bit carried away. The first slap was followed by a second and a third. Enough, Yoshi, I'm fine, Tanya finally spoke, regaining her vertical posture. Oh, pervert brother, why? I think I understand what he meant. I was too naive. Thud. Something massive crashed to the floor. The building shook as if hit by an earthquake, and plaster rained down from the ceiling. Tanya looked at the source. The very thing that shattered Tanya's worldview had fallen to its knees and with its head pressed to the floor, dared not move. Tanya was utterly baffled. Milton? What is it? What's wrong? Her brother's voice sounded. No, nothing. Shaking. It's impossible not to bow before the light I see with these eyes. The creature suddenly burst into tears, sniffling. Milton, get up. You wanted to meet my sister so badly. Now's your chance. Ishe glanced apologetically at Tanya. But the thing refused to budge. No, Ishe-kyun. How can I, before my eyes are true goddesses, not fakes like me? How dare I desecrate them with my gaze? I'm already happier than ever. Thank you, Ishe-kyun. What the hell is going on here? Who is this? Now that her thoughts were back on track, Tanya focused on the one crucial question. Where is Asia? Foo-hoo-hoo. Levi Chine's melodious voice rang out. Oh, what a cutie. Don't call yourself a fake. Magical girls are magical girls. Levi Chine approached and patted the thing on the shoulder. What a cute outfit. Did you sew it yourself? It's amazing. Knew you, but the thing still didn't lift its head, only continuing to sob. Goddesses! You are true goddesses. Such is the mercy of magical girls, you even gave a chance to an unworthy person like me. Tanya couldn't take it anymore and looked at Yoshi. Yoshi, snap him out of it. And you? Tanya addressed the thing directly. Get up. How can a magical girl behave like this? Yoshi approached from behind and pulled on its shoulders, attempting to stand it up. But then something even more unexpected happened. Nyu, Levi-chan, Tatan, what goddesses you are, true goddesses. Such is the mercy of magical girls, you even gave a chance to an unworthy person like me. Nyu, and exclaimed and suddenly lunged into a vertical position. Bang, boom! Tanya's eyes nearly popped out of their sockets at the sight. The thing caught Yoshi during its lunge, and Yoshi, unable to react in time, was slammed into the concrete wall. Only the crumbling plaster from the hole in the wall where Yoshi was embedded attested to the violence of the event. Impossible. Yoshi was near max D rank evolution, specializing in strength and constitution. Even without his mechanism, if a truck hit him, the driver would be the one to worry about. Tanya quickly used her ability on the thing. Appraisal. Attention, you have analyzed a new evolutionary species of sentient being. Appraisal increases to level 5. Status, name, magical girl, in evolution, age, 18 years, level 35. Blocked. Conditions must be met. Status, true believer in goddesses. Evolutionary index, D. Characteristics, strength 35, agility 9, constitution 25, faith 20, will 10. Skills, steel body, level 9, E. Tuki, level 1, D. Aura of fear, level max, D. Magical Girl Martial Arts, level 7, E. Tanya paused for a second. The system had dropped a bomb. Damn it! He's almost Yoshi's equal. What kind of monster is this? Where did my brother dig him up? After extracting Yoshi from the hole, Tanya finally demanded to know what was going on. It was a complete theater of the absurd. And most importantly, where was Asia? The news was a shock. Asia, playing the Holy Maiden, hadn't come. She was supposed to come with Ishe, which Tanya had counted on, as Ishe would refuse tickets from Tanya but not from Asia. Well, Ishe had shown up. Asia had completed her main task, but who had he brought with him? Tanya sighed at her own luck. Well, no choice. I have to deal with what I have. Yoshi, though shocked, wasn't seriously injured. He simply hadn't expected such strength from Milton. He had let down his guard. Tanya swore she would deal with him later. The abilities of this magical girl were truly astonishing, and he had no sacred gear. He had reached this level entirely on his own. This world was definitely broken. Tanya ordered Yoshi to escort Ishe and Milton to their special seats and keep a close eye on them. Meanwhile, Levi-chan, who Tanya would never understand, was getting along surprisingly well with Milton. It's unbelievable. This thought circled in her head as she and Levi-chan approached the stage. The roar of the crowd was growing, louder, and goosebumps instinctively ran across her body. Seriously, what don't you like about him, Tatan? Levi-chan's eyes sparkled. He's so cute. Hoo hoo hoo. As a devil, I can assure you, he has a very pure heart. Levi-chan, The roar of voices intensified. They were almost at the stage and every step was difficult. Her legs were trembling uncharacteristically. Don't worry, Tatan. Levi-chan noticed her nervousness and placed a hand on her shoulder. It's not your first time performing in front of people. You'll see, everyone will be delighted. That's exactly what I'm afraid of, Tanya wanted to cry. Finally, they reached the stage and the spotlight hit her eyes. The gigantic stadium stage was literally overflowing with people. They waved glowing light sticks. Lights of all colors painted the sky. Nervousness swelled in her heart. Yes, Tanya had performed in front of large crowds, but never had so many perverts been gathered in one place. Levi-chan, how many people came to the show? Was it 5 or even 10,000? Tanya had not dared to ask before, her mind desperately trying to avoid the question. But looking at the noise and commotion now, the worst possible thoughts invaded her mind. She wasn't afraid of the stage. What she was scared of... You're incredibly popular, Tatan. The stars in Levi-chan's eyes could fry her brain. All tickets are sold out. Be proud. More than 50,000 people came to see you. 50,000 perverts. I'm definitely gonna kill you someday, Levi-chan.